Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, been holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for
Slots all making the judge mad. Cellulite yoga pants. I love the commands. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. Bing bong, bing bing bong. Bing bing bong, ding ding dong. Here's Paisley. I was here all along. Sort of. I hope everybody's doing good. I already said that part. Welcome to my living room. Welcome to, oh, Courtney. Can you send me some? I'm not high enough. I am definitely not high enough for any of the bullshit that I have dealt with today. But in about 26 minutes, I'll probably be in a better mood. So right now, I'll say we're doing one episode, but we'll see what happens. We are heading down to, I guess, what may be the bowels of Texas. That's not meant to be an insult. Texas is just a very large state, and it's random. Anyways, fuck, I can't remember. I worked quite hard today. I know, believe it or not, I worked hard today. I worked hard today on my YouTubing, in a way. Oh, right. Some of this is going to have to be redacted, just so you guys know. Also, there are some accusations that are a little disturbing, I would say. The flashing asses have been in already. I anticipate they will come in again because dinner has not been provided yet, because I made a lunch, but I bought the wrong ingredient. My fault. I checked. It was my fault. But you know when you have, I don't know if you guys know this. We'll just talk quick and then we'll get going. But you know when you've got things for a recipe and it's in your mind and you've decided what you're gonna make, and then you start to prepare it. This sounds very neurotypical, but as you're preparing it, you're cleaning up after yourself. Like today, I was in a flow state. To create this pad thai, which I made last week, remember? I did. And it was perfect last week. So you will imagine my surprise. Oh, hi, Shane. Thank you so much for the super chat. And also, thanks for your comment. We do indeed have Family Day in British Columbia. It is on Monday. So, and the nature of schools, the children are already out of school. They'll be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4-day weekend for the kiddies, which is great for them. Anyways, so I literally got all of the items ready to go, prepared. I'd even disposed of the garbage, everything. I was in a flow state, like I said. And then, and I guess this is my not being neurotypical, that it fucked me up when I looked at the noodles and realized, oh, these are not pad thai noodles, these are rice noodles. And my heart sank and my brain went crazy. Even though I've had those noodles before, they're not bad. But it just wasn't what I wanted to make. Like the noodles, the shape of the noodles for some reason is very integral to how it tastes, and it was the wrong noodle. So I've just been soured a little bit from today. So suffice it to say, Bill asked if there's been any shaking butts. Yes, there's been a shaking butt. That's a totally separate story as well. But the pad thai, I mean, the pad rice noodles worked out okay. Right before, literally my last step was to cut up the chicken, and as a like concession to myself, I was like, well, we'll just not put in the chicken. We'll just make it tofu pad thai. But that actually worked out better because now I don't feel like I wasted the chicken on it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean. Chicken is very expensive around here. I was very excited for it, but the wrong noodles and that chicken, it wasn't gonna work. Anyways, okay, enough of that. Enough. Let's talk about this lady. Her name is Heather. Hold on, Heather. I'm bringing you up on stage. Everyone, your colors are going to change over here. That's okay. We're adults. We can handle change. I can't handle change, you guys. Eggs in Canada have been steadily expensive for a while, in my experience. The cheapest bunch of eggs in a dozen that you can get around here would be $4.20 at the Walmart for white eggs. If you were to go upstairs to the Whole Foods, the cheapest eggs are going to be $7 or $8 a dozen, and then, or maybe $6.99, and then upwards. You can also buy expensive eggs, like at any sort of store. But I don't think we're having the same, knock on wood, issues that y'all are having in some places that are causing a shortage of eggs. Also, sometimes I go to the butcher shop, and they often have, MB, you're not late. I was late. But you're right on time. I haven't even started. I knew you were coming. This one's for you. Well, partly. It's for all of us. 50 cents an egg, I guess. I mean, to me, that's not that expensive. But... Oh. He's back. I can hear him. Alright, let's get started then. Before the ass comes against the fucking... the door. Also, happy early Valentine's Day to all my people. I love you all. I value you all. I want you to know that you're special and that don't even try it. Don't. That you are special. Not you. Specifically not him. He's not special. That he's soaking up your affirmations, you guys. He's soaking them up. He's brimming. He's brimming with these affirmations. I'm going to have to stop for right now. I'll give them to you later when he's not paying attention. Don't, Kurt, go away. Go away. All right, let's get going. No, nothing's ready. There's no food till I'm done. Oh, he's special for sure. Oh, that reminds me of a funny story, but anyways. Okay, let's go. Oh, trigger warning. Yeah.
All right. Miss Ramirez, Mr. Orozco, can you both hear me okay?
Yes.
Hold on. Thank you, NPC. You're so sweet. That is so... I am not talking to you. I'm talking to NPC. You'd think he's in here. Do I talk that loud? Y'all are complaining I'm quiet, and then apparently he is can hear me. NPC, thank you so much. Happy pre-Valentine's Day. This is, I'm getting them confused. This is the slightly triggering one, but not the most triggering case that I recorded today. So my apologies for getting them confused. But the judge, this is the same judge. She heard both cases, and she wasn't happy. Again, if not just to piss him off, we'll probably watch both, just so that I take longer. Like, originally this is 39 minutes, and I was like, oh, well, we'll watch this one, and that'll probably be a good show, you know? But I'm feeling like we should spend more time together. Right? Okay, let's start.
Mr. Orozco, you'll need to unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to call for a hearing then. Hill County cause number B454622411, styled in the interest of Julian Salazar. We're here today on the Attorney General's original petition and suit affecting the parent-child, petition to establish the parent-child relationship originally filed on November 19th of 2024 and docketed before the 242nd District Court of Hale County, Texas, being heard today by order of referral by the Associate Judge for Child Support Matters. Ms. Threadgill, is the Attorney General's office ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Luis Orozco, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and Rosario Ramirez, are you ready to proceed?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Threadgill?
Thank you, Judge. I'll call Rosario Ramirez.
Ms. Ramirez, if you would please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give in the cause before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Threadgill?
Would you state your name for the record, please?
Rosario Ramirez?
And are you the mother of the child that we're here about today?
Yes.
What is your child's name and age?
Julian, and he's 10 months.
And does Julian live with you currently?
Yes.
Who is Julian's father?
Luis Orozco?
Were you and Mr. Orozco in a relationship at the time Julian was born?
No.
And have you lived together since he was born?
No.
What have you done as far as visitation between Julian and Mr. Orozco since Julian was born?
Well, I would let him come to my house and let him see him.
And when was the last time he visited?
Probably like a month ago.
Do you believe that you and Mr. Orozco will be able to co-parent together to make decisions that are in Julian's best interest?
I hope so.
And what are you asking the court to order as far as visitation between Mr. Orozco and Julian?
He gets supervised visits
And why do you want supervised visits?
because he has no water at his house, and his house is a complete disaster.
Do you have other safety concerns besides the home?
And I also know that he's still using drugs, and so I don't want my son to be around that type of environment too.
Do you have someone in mind that would be able to supervise the visits?
I do have somebody in mind.
Who is that?
It would be either Jacob Richburg or Leslie and Brent Richburg.
And how do you know them?
I know them from church.
Does Mr. Orozco know them?
Well, he kind of knows Jacob Richburg, but I don't know. Or either if one of his family members could supervise, I don't mind with that either, like his mom or.
So you would be okay with Mr. Orozco's mother supervising the visits?
Mm-hmm.
And how often would you be asking for the visits to take place?
I don't know.
And would you be okay with every other weekend, or what do you have in mind?
Yeah, every other weekend would be good.
Is that
And
an
what about
NPG?
overnight visits? Are you okay with that if his mother's there?
As long as yes.
And your child's last name, are you agreeable to changing that to Orozco?
Yes.
And if Mr. Orozco is wanting for there to be a geographic restriction placed to where the child cannot leave Hale or contiguous counties, are you agreeable to that, or do you not want the geographic restriction?
I don't want the geographical restrictions.
And why do you not want that?
Like to move there?
Yes,
Like move anywhere?
yes.
Because one day I would like to move.
How do you have Julian covered for health insurance?
Oh, look at she did it live. You guys, we got to experience that in the same moment that Colin rated us. Don't worry, I recorded it. It's cute. It's cute that she thinks that will stop us. It certainly won't. Not today. Like I already said, I recorded it. So don't worry. And hi, guys. Hi for the raid. I'm actually going to I'm going to start a rumor. This judge was in Colin's chat and obviously was watching and thought, oh my God, we're being shown on this other channel.
All right.
Judge, yeah, sorry, I know, but don't worry. We were about, was he walking around yet? I don't think he was. We were just like 4 or 5 minutes in. Anyways, thanks so much for the raid. New rumor, Colin is this judge. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Anyways, good news. I told you I was working today. Look at that. Oh, I'm so glad. But by the way, that is what happens while you are recording court. All of a sudden it'll just be unavailable. I actually did the math. I was like, wow, it's still up. I'll watch the online version instead of the recorded one, but I guess the judge must be watching or something. Anyways, if you're just getting here, make sure that you're subscribed, hit the like button, tell me what you had for dinner. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner, and let's listen to these people fight about child support.
Traffic restriction.
I don't want the geographical restrictions.
And why do you not want that?
Like to move there?
Yes,
Like move anywhere?
yes.
Because one day I would like to move.
How do you have Julian covered for health insurance?
I have Medicaid under your Texas benefits, First Care.
And do you have any other insurance available for him through an employer or any other source?
No, ma'am.
Oh, NPC, that is amazing. And also, Christopher, I saw you sneak in there too. First of all, NPC gifting 10 memberships. What an amazing gift to the raiders that are here. We don't get to pick who gets memberships, but it is always happy when I see them get given out. And then Christopher Engleby, oh, that's so sweet. On the eve of Valentine's Day, if you were a vegetable, you'd be a cucumber. That's so sweet. Thank you very much. And if you're just getting here, this case is just starting. We're watching a Texas child support case. Like I said, I recorded this earlier, but I was afraid of it getting pulled, so it's a little bit fast. 1.25 until we catch right up. So, yeah, let's go.
Your address and phone number and all of that kept out of the court order, so it's not available where this other person can see it.
Yes.
And since Julian was born, has Mr. Orozco assisted you financially?
Just one time.
And how much did he give you?
200.
And when, do you know approximately when that was?
Around April.
And did he provide anything like diapers or wipes or clothing or anything else like that?
Just some clothing.
And when was that?
Around April.
And do you know how much the approximate value of that clothing would be?
Probably like $100.
And are you asking for back child support?
Yes.
Judge, I'll pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Orozco, if you had an attorney representing you, now your attorney would have an opportunity to ask Ms. Ramirez questions on cross-examination. Since you don't have an attorney, you may ask her questions, but you must follow the rules of court. It's not the same thing as you testifying. You're going to get to testify. Tell me your story here in just a moment, okay? But do you have a question? Do you have any questions for Ms. Ramirez?
Yes, I do have a question.
Okay.
So it was stated that the last time I gave you money was when?
April.
In April. Okay. So, all right.
Yay! Almost a year.
As well as I ain't ever bought anything for my son.
And
No
I did
diapers or
say that
nothing besides
you
one
never bought
time.
diapers.
I
You
never
never bought
bought diapers?
diapers. No, you never bought diapers.
Okay. Okay. I ain't got no other questions for her, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ramirez, do you have anything you want to add to or explain about your testimony?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and just to clarify, you would be comfortable with the child being in the home of Mr. Orozco's mother?
Yes.
Okay, and would be okay with the child spending the night there?
At his mother's house, yes.
Okay, and has the child spent the night with her before?
One time.
Okay, and that went okay?
He's on the move,
Ma'am.
guys.
Huh?
That went okay?
Yeah, well, I let them go to, I think it was like a Christmas party. So he either spent the night at his mom's house or either his older brother's house.
Okay, all right.
So,
and
it did went good.
the money and clothing that Mr. Orozco gave you, was that just shortly after the child was born?
Yes. I mean, not April, August. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. It was in August.
In August, not April?
Yes, I got that mixed up.
Okay. So he gave you $200 cash or bought stuff worth $200 and then $100 in clothing, so $300 roughly?
Yes.
Okay. And you believe that Mr. Orozco still sometimes uses drugs?
Yep.
Oh my God. We are pushing Streamlabs to his limit tonight. If you're new here, Streamlabs is our friendly neighborhood bot. And thank you, MB, for 5 more gifted memberships. That's so sweet. Honestly, when people walk around in court, it makes me a little bit sick, but that revives me right back. Thank you so much. And BCM, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm so glad to see you guys. She seems to be a little controlling. I will say, we've got 2 cases to watch tonight, and this is the first one. I know we're not doing great at getting through them. That's sort of my thing. But she's much more reasonable, even giving the vibes that we're getting here, than the second case. But I'll let you guys decide. And Christopher, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. I wish the sun would come out tomorrow.
And what do you base that belief on?
Because I just know he does.
Okay, what makes you think that?
Because he still smokes weed, and he told me that he still smokes weed, and I assumed that he does the other drugs because I used to do the other drugs with him.
Okay, so the 2 of you used drugs together at some point, but now
At some point, yes.
you believe he's continuing with that lifestyle?
Yes.
Okay, and the house he lives in isn't suitable for the child?
Nope.
Okay, it doesn't have running water?
Mm-mm.
Does Mr. Orozco have a car?
No, he does not.
Okay, so he would have no way to transport the child.
Right.
Okay. Does his mother have a car?
Yes.
Okay, so if there were an emergency, she would be able to take the child, get the child in the car and get the child to emergency services.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, Ms. Thurgill.
Thank you, Judge. I'll call Luis Orozco.
Mr. Orozco, if you would please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give in the cause before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Vega.
Will you state your name for the record, please?
Louis Orozco.
And are you the father of Julian?
Yes.
And just to be clear, you declined taking DNA testing in this court case, correct?
Yes.
We're gonna try and get a good angle of it, MB, but I believe that it's a basketball made of diamonds. Fake diamonds, mind you, but I'm pretty sure that it is diamond basketball around his neck. And thank you guys for subscribing. That is so sweet. I really appreciate it. We actually lost subscribers for the first time ever last month, like a total overall loss. So I love you guys. Thanks.
And did the three of you take a private DNA test at some point?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you are admitting that you are Julian's father.
Yes, I am.
And do you believe that you and Ms. Ramirez will be able to co-parent to make decisions that are in Julian's best interest?
I don't actually, which is why I want to get this settled through whatever we have to, because it ain't on. It's supposed to be on Julian's best interest, not hers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what she want to make it seem like. And
She making it seem like that. NPC's making it rain memberships in here. Look at the names that got them. I love it. Katie9, Prissy Tomboy, you guys, Melanie. I love it. And Reseller Road Trip Adventures was gifted one. Chuck's here saying aloha. That's a high aloha. We love it. Yay, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Seriously though, why can't he sit still? Why can't he look at the camera? It is not a good way to go to court. This could be shown as what not to do. Look at the judge's face. She's just like, oh my God.
no, because she's told me before that she can keep my son if she wants to.
Okay, so let's kind of get into that. As far as the visitation, what are you asking the court to order?
I want the I don't even know what it's called, but how they do it. It's like the first, third, and fifth weekend or whatever, like every other holiday and stuff like that.
And
I don't need and I don't believe that I need supervised visits.
Okay, that was my next question. So why do you not think you need supervised visits?
Because she knows of the house that I have. She don't know of the house that I live in. You know what I'm
Okay, so
saying?
do you live in a different home than the one that she's aware of?
Yes, I do. I live right next door.
Does that house have running water?
It does. It has electricity. It has everything. And I got a van outside that I'm working on at the moment.
Would that home?
Well, shit. Did you guys hear that? He has electricity and a van. And Diver Dan, we're so glad that you're here. So glad, guys. Terrapin, everybody, I love it. Look at her face. She's like, bitch, you've had that van and you've had that house forever. God. I mean, a van is cool. Van life is very in right now. I will say that. Oh, God.
Would you have room for Julian if Julian were to come over and visit?
Most definitely. It's a 3-bedroom house and I'm the only one living in it.
And are you asking that Julian's last name be changed to your last name?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And do you want there to be a geographic restriction on where Julian lives?
I do.
And why do you want that?
Because she has told me before that she's gonna move. And like I said, as well, she said she ain't gonna come back, as well as her saying that she can keep my son from me if she wants to.
Are you currently working?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, and when we talked earlier in the room, it's a little confusing how you're paid, so we're going to kind of go through this step by step, okay? Are you paid hourly?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you paid a different amount hourly for different jobs you're doing for your
Yeah,
employer. Okay.
yes, ma'am.
So can you describe that for the court?
So I work as a inventory specialist, and I travel. I go to different stores, and while that time I'm traveling, while
Can we confirm? I think it is a basketball around his neck. Wixom, my live stream schedule is somewhat varied. I am, oh gosh, Cheshire Cat, I'm so sorry to hear that. But I'm glad you're okay. Generally, it's before or after Colin. That's a pretty good bet. I'm on the West Coast and I live in Canada. So take that as you may.
I'm riding in the van, if I'm just a passenger, I get paid $10. If I'm the driver driving everybody to the location, I get paid $13, $14. And then when I'm in the store, actually working at the store, I get paid $13.50.
And when we were discussing, we came up that your paychecks are approximately $1,000 gross every 2 weeks. Does that sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And does it sometimes vary up or down from that?
It sometimes varies up or down, ma'am. John, good question. Tomorrow night, I am getting karma by taking a shift at work for a man who has a girlfriend who had dreams, hopes, and prayers about this Valentine's Day. And so I've decided to help him out by working his late shift. So I'm collecting karma points and won't be streaming tomorrow night. And welcome, Kalina's agility partner. Love to see ya. But yeah. So tomorrow night, nothing. Well, I'm hoping he's gonna get some, and I'm hoping from him getting some, the karma will come here to me. I live on Vancouver Island, in British Columbia, just near Washington. A ferry ride away, if you will. But yes, and that's a humble brag, by the way, that I live on the island. I know. But I muted myself, but there is snow, which we don't like.
It varies up and down due to holidays and stuff like that.
And you haven't been working there very long. How long have you been working there?
I've been working there since October.
So, but in your opinion, it's fair to say $1,000 gross biweekly.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any other children?
I do. I have one other older son, another son.
And do you have parental rights to that child?
I don't.
Were your rights terminated?
Yes, ma'am, they were.
And do you have insurance available for Julian through your employer at a reasonable cost to you?
I was talking to my employer and they did tell me that I could get insurance for him.
How much would it cost?
I didn't even get a price on that, but they said they'd let me know.
Okay, you don't have any idea what it would cost?
No, ma'am, I'm not too sure on how that works. Like I said, I asked them, they said they're gonna get back to me. I'm still waiting on it.
Okay, and Ms. Ramirez testified as to your financial assistance for Julian since he was born. Do you agree with what she said?
No, ma'am.
Okay, how much do you believe that you have given Ms. Ramirez since Julian was born?
I believe I gave her some money around.
I believe I gave her some money once or twice before. Actually, I don't know what he's gonna say, but again, look at her face. I'm sorry, but I do feel like this young lady has gotten her shit together in a sense, and Buddy hasn't. That's the vibes I'm getting. But again, like I said, she's being somewhat reasonable in what she's saying. I think she said standard possession. So, you know. But how much money do we think he's given her? Do we think it's over $1,000 to take care of a child? I'm gonna guess under 1,000.
Around August when she said that, which is the cash that I don't remember the exact amount, but I do know I sent her $422 on Cash App, and then I went aside from that and bought my son some diapers and all that stuff on around Christmas, and this was all in December. That was the last time I gave her money, was in December, and I do have a screenshot, or I can screenshot it if I don't have the screenshot of the last time I sent her money. I bought him clothes. She took them back because she said they didn't fit him. She told me that was that size, but
So can you give the court an estimate total of how much you've sent through Cash App, given her in cash, and spent on necessities for the child?
yeah. Well, like I said, the Cash App was 422. Cash has been
In what world do we send $422? Why? Why? Also the diaper excuse, right? Here's the only way that would probably work with a judge. If you explained, you said, you know, Your Honor, in fact, I signed her up for a diaper service, like Amazon delivers diapers there every 2 weeks. Here is my last 10 months receipt from my Amazon account where I've been providing diapers and wipes without fail every 2 weeks. That's the only way we're going to be fine with diapers, bitches. That's the way.
like 300, 400, and buying him stuff around the same price.
Is there anything I left out that you feel like the court should know?
Yes, most definitely. So I mean, she wants me to be supervised and all this and that, but I don't know if y'all are aware of, but she told me she just had to go and take, she was involved currently with CPS again, as well as she is on the highest supervision on probation. She's on drug court. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to, you is being extra supervised while being on probation.
But if she is extra supervised, that's better. It's funny, but judges like that. Judges love it when another court is already monitoring the situation and they can defer to other courts. It would be concerning if the child, she didn't have custody, but the fact that she's being monitored at this point is actually good. That means that she's done what they need to get that, or she never lost custody. Like, look at her face. She's like, yeah, tell her all about it. The judge does look disgusted. I took a few screenshots today, Flu Diddy, of this judge, but I realized, I was like, oh my God, she looks crazy. It turns out, I think she's got lights in front of her at some point. You'll see. But, so I didn't end up using it. But anyway, I was like, that's not nice. Because it looked like she was like crazy eyes, but it turns out to be like ring lights in her glasses.
For your drug use and your criminal activities.
So do you know if there's currently a CPS investigation?
I don't know. Last time I had talked to her, she did tell me she was involved with CPS, but she never let me know anything more than that, because whatever she got going on.
When was that?
That was last month. Actually, that was in December, I believe. It was either the end of December or early January.
And she did raise some concerns that you were currently using drugs. Are you currently using drugs?
No, ma'am, I am not.
Judge, I'll pass the witness.
All right. Mr. Orozco, well, first of all, Ms. Ramirez, do you have any questions for Mr. Orozco?
I mean, I don't have no questions for him, but I got stuff that I want to say.
You can testify additionally in a moment, okay? All right. Mr. Orozco, how many times have you seen this child?
I've seen him quite a bit actually, but to give like an estimate amount, like a total time with him being 10 months, probably I want to say about a good month and a half, 2 months, give or take.
Okay, I don't
But
understand what that
that,
means. How many
so
times have you seen?
I can't tell you the exact number of times because it's like here I can see him, like I'll see him for like days straight. Like I'll see him for like 4 or 5 days straight, or I'll talk to him on the phone. I'll FaceTime on the phone.
Has he ever spent the night with you?
Yes, ma'am.
When at your house?
No, ma'am. I went to a family gathering and I was gonna stay in Lubbock because my mom wasn't gonna come back, so
Is
I
this
ended up staying.
the Christmas thing that she was testifying about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and your mom was there for that, right?
Well, my mom was at the gathering. My mom dropped me off. Like she just was at the gathering for a little bit and then left.
All right. Tell me about your house situation. What's the situation with your house?
So the situation with my house, of course, I inherited a house from my grandpa when he passed away. Well, I was living in a different location at that time. And I lost that house due to me losing my job. So I was living here and I had been living there at that house. And then my grandpa's wife was supposed to move out because she wasn't on that wheel to own that house. So she was on another house. So she had to move out of that one that is right next door to the one she knows about. And now I currently reside in that house.
Okay, what's the address of that house?
But
And that's where.
all the mail and everything goes to,
Okay, is that in Plainview?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you're not using drugs, you wouldn't mind taking a drug test before you have visitation with the child?
Yes, I wouldn't mind taking a drug test.
You wouldn't mind?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Because as well, I don't know if y'all know, I am on parole as well. I'm
So
on
do you have to submit
your
urinalysis?
analysis. Yes, ma'am, I do. And of course, I have to report and stuff.
Are you
I
on parole from a drug offense?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
What are you on parole for?
I had caught a couple of domestic violence charges and stuff like that.
Was Miss Ramirez the victim of those?
No, ma'am.
Okay. When did those take place?
The last one took place in 2018, and the other two took place in 2017.
Okay. And did those involve children?
No, ma'am.
All right. Okay. And do you have receipts for this money that you've spent?
I do have the receipt on the Cash App,
Mm-hmm.
like the amount I've sent. As far as like when I bought the Pampers and all that and all the stuff I bought him, no, I don't, because I give it to her. And so that way, if she didn't like it or whatever, she could return it. So I don't know what she's done with those receipts,
Oh, you
but
need.
I'm
You gave
sure
her
I
the
can
receipt.
find some.
So your testimony is you've spent about $1,000 basically.
In the little bit of time I've got to see him, because I wasn't aware of him being mine until he was about like 3 or 4 months.
Okay. So you didn't know, no one told you the child was born or that he was yours?
No, ma'am, I had to reach out to her and ask her, and I didn't respond in a timely manner to her, so therefore she had ended up blocking me, and then she ended up unblocking me and stuff. So
Okay. So You all did a DNA test. When did that come back?
I don't know the exact time, but right after we did it, it came back like I want to say 6 weeks later, at the
Okay.
most, less
Do
than
you know,
that.
do you know about when that was? What month?
That was in August, I believe, because I was still working at Tudum Totem.
Okay. And before August, you hadn't heard anything about this child?
I heard it through other people. I
When
heard it
did you?
through like
Is
I
he?
heard it through
I
her
heard
old
it through the
friend.
grapevine, and I'm smoking while in court. Does anybody have exhaling through the nostrils while blue sky behind? I know that's a specific bingo card, but I know it's out there. Exhaling through the nostrils while blue skies shine overhead.
You hadn't heard anything about this child?
I heard it through other people. I
When
heard it
did you?
through like I heard it through her old friends that she used to hang out with and stuff. But I just heard about her being pregnant. I didn't know she had the baby.
Okay. All right. All right. Ms. Ramirez, you wanted to testify additionally?
Yes. So he lied about one thing. I was never on CPS in December, and I could vouch for that because I could give you the CPS lady's number. I was on CPS way before I even had Julian. I was still pregnant with Julian. I could give you the CPS number. I'm not on CPS, but yes, I am in drug court, and it's been such a blessing to me. And I've been sober for a year and 1 month now, and I could also vouch for that because you.
That deserves some kudos. A year and 1 month is excellent. We have a lot of people in various stages of sobriety, different versions of it, and we are very proud of her. Look at his little smirk. Good job. And the reality is, drug court checks. They check in. And they're going to report to CPS because they know she has a child. Like, these are good things in place. And she looks like she's working. She looks like she's in a working place.
Can also talk to Judge Cerbolio because I've been good. I've been doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. And then he's never bought my son diapers or anything. I've asked him for money. I have messages of him asking, saying, "Oh, what size is Julian? Oh, what size clothes?" I give it to him, and he never gives it to me. We do have money together on Snapchat, but half of that money is not even because we were good on some terms. So he didn't have a Cash App card, so me and him would like go and like eat and do stuff for fun, and so half of that money is not even like from like giving it like to me for Julian. He always said that I always made too much and that I'm not gonna get any. Like I have messages
Okay.
and
When
I
did
could
you
find them on.
when did you first tell him that you were expecting?
I never told him that I was expecting because it was either for his baby or another guy's, and so like me and him
Okay.
stopped talking.
So when did you all do this DNA test?
Well, I finally made a new Facebook, and he messaged me like when Julian was like a newborn, and we started like talking, and then his boss, if he gives me his boss's number, I will look up on my contacts and I'll find the day that we found out. Because I still have all the messages from, because his boss is the one that did it because he didn't want me to do it. So his boss sent me like the message saying that it was
Okay.
99% his.
You don't remember when it was?
No, but I could find it if he gives me his boss's number.
Mr. Orozco, can you look up and find out when this was done? What's your best memory of when the DNA testing came back? Was it summertime? Was it fall?
It was in the
It was
summer.
summer.
It was summertime. So was it possibly around August? And did that cause Mr. Orozco to buy the clothing and give you some money then? Or was that way after?
It was like way after.
Okay. So let's say there aren't many choices. June, July.
We'll just say July.
Okay. So since July, you would say he's only giving you $300 and he says he's giving you 1,000.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you know anything about this new house that he lives in?
Well, I know that his grandma moved out of the house, and so if he says that he moved in there, I would like to see proof of that. Like, I'm not trying to take his son away from him, but I would love to see proof of him.
You ain't nobody to see no. You ain't nobody to see that.
I'm sorry, what was that, sir?
I can show y'all some proof. You know what I'm saying? But she don't need no proof because she ain't.
Well, that's what I'm
She
saying. I'm not okay.
man.
Well,
All right,
show them
that's
proof.
enough. I've had enough. I've heard enough. Miss Threadgill, is there anything else you have to offer?
No, Your Honor.
All right, just give me a moment. I'm going to make some calculations. Oh, I know. I had one more question, Mr. Orozco. So you're paid $1,000 gross every 2 weeks or twice a month? There's a slight difference.
It's every other week, bi-weekly.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Oh, the judge is still like, you know what? I've heard enough. I'm fucking done. I love that she dips off the screen. She's gonna do her deciding here. Don't go anywhere though. We have another case. Also a lot of hot fucking tea about to be spilled. So buckle up for that. Vibes are different in the next case for sure, but again, in each and every one of these cases, the reality is that it's he said, she said, or she said, or they said, I said, and it's a judge's job to determine that, and our job to judge the judge and everybody else on the screen. I would like to believe that, like, I've actually made it real now in my mind that this judge watches Colin's show regularly, on the regular, and was surprised to see herself realize that she'd forgotten to pull it down and then pulled it down because that was uncanny timing. And that would mean she's probably still here right now. I like you, Judge. I like your style. I'll say that. But it is a tattoo under her eye. I believe it's a tattoo under the neck. And I'm pretty sure, oh, look at that. She's using a 2-finger type method on her phone. That's unique. Does anybody else do that? I'm a pointer. I'm a pointer finger girl. I don't think I've ever done that. I mean, I've 2-fingered a girl for sure, but not in the context of a cell phone. Take that as you may. Judge, save me.
Gather to make decisions.
Oh, hold on.
For
Yeah, you can make your decision.
All right. I'm going to find that based on the testimony, Mr. Orozco is the biological father of the child before the court. I will order that the birth records of the child be amended to show that he's the father of Julian and that Julian's last name be changed to Orozco.
Oh, I don't know that we should have changed his last name, to be honest. But look at that. Look at that. Look at that. A close-up of his neck scrotum. Yes, his balls. His silver balls.
I will order that the birth records of the child be amended to show that he's the father of Julian and that Julian's last name be changed to Orozco. I will find, based on basically Mr. Orozco's testimony, that the parties can't work together to make decisions for the child, that it wouldn't be in the best interest to name the parents joint managing conservators. Therefore, the only choice is to name Ms. Ramirez as the sole managing conservator of the child. Ms. Ramirez will have the exclusive.
Did you hear that? If you aren't very smart, you might not have figured it out. What she just said was, based upon his testimony, I have to find that they will not work together and she is going to be the sole managing conservator. Mama said that she could work with you, bro, and you fucked that up. I love that. That's sweet justice. That's something we call blocking your blessings.
Right to determine the primary residence of the child. I'm not going to issue the geographic restriction at this time. I don't feel that it would be appropriate to do so based on the relationship that Mr. Orozco has had with the child thus far, especially since he has not seen the child in a month based on her testimony. And so I'm not going to issue the geographic restriction. I will find that Mr. Orozco should have the right to the standard possession order in this case. However, for the first 6 months, Mr. Orozco will exercise his visitation at the home of his mother. Following a presentation to Ms. Ramirez of a negative urinalysis, he should have those available if he's on parole. It shouldn't cost him anything. He should be able to get that information from his parole officer. Those visits will be the first, third, and fifth Friday of every month until the following Sunday, ending at 6. Any problems should be able to be recognized in 6 months. Once that 6 months is up with consistent visitation, and by that I mean Mr. Orozco cannot miss more than 30 days or he starts over on the 6 months, and he presents a negative hair follicle examination, he should have the standard possession order. However, Mr. Orozco should have an appropriate place for the child to live. I don't know what the situation is exactly with the housing. You both seem to have different stories. It's hard for me to know what the difference is.
Christopher, I love you too. Thank you so much for the lovely Valentine's Day wishes. Oh, yes, I got it up on the screen and I hearted it in the same click. That's excellent. Oh, you have a kitten that likes my voice, Diver Dan? That's awesome. Christopher, thank you so much. Seriously, I love you so much. You always bring a smile to my face. I was talking about you at work the other day. And I really do appreciate it. Also, what the fuck does Lewis want? Lewis, put your damn hand down.
But the house must have running water, electricity, all of those types of things. And Miss Ramirez may deny visitation if if it's apparent that that's not the case. So Mr. Orozco, in fact, it is her business whether the house is appropriate for the child. And you must have a house with running water that is safe for the child, that has electricity. You also must have a car to transport the child. If not, the visitations will continue, but they will continue at your mom's house until those conditions are met. All right.
May I say something?
No, sir, you may not.
No, sir, you may not. But I will say something. Look at that. Mikey sending over a super chat. What does this one say? It just high five Lewis. You're giving him a high five? Don't encourage that behavior, Mikey. This guy's been smoking in court. We're getting a beard shot right now. A beard shot. But thank you very much. I hope you have a happy Valentine's Day. And I hope the storm's cleared up near you. And also, welcome to anybody who's showing up late from Colin's channel. We appreciate that. The judge was here earlier, allegedly. That's just a rumor I'm starting now. Officially. And yeah, this, shh, wahoo. We're exempt from the rules, just like the recording rule.
Child support is set at $375 a month. I will order that Ms. Ramirez keep the child enrolled in the government medical assistance program, also known as Medicaid, as long as that is available to her. And that Mr. Orozco will be ordered to pay $30 a month to help defray the cost of that program to the state of Texas. I'm not clear exactly how much has been paid to whom, when. So I'm sort of splitting the difference, and I'm going to order retroactive child support from July through today in the amount of $2,000. I did give credit for direct payment as best I could based on the testimony. The payment on that $2,000 will be an additional $20 a month. Court costs will be taxed against Mr. Orozco as billed by the district clerk of Hill County to be paid within 1 year of today's date. I think that covers everything. Have I left anything out, Mr. Agill? I don't think there was any evidence or request for I'm sorry. Ms. Ramirez, address and identifying information will not be included in this order due to threats from an outside party. I'm assuming the parties have each other's contact information. If you do not, I will order that communications be through the co-parenting application app closed. Okay? All right. Every party to a hearing before the associate judge is entitled to a new or de novo hearing in front of the referring court. The new or de novo hearing must be requested in writing. The request must be filed within 3 days of the notice of the substance of my ruling and served on the other parties to this action. It must specify what issue or issues are to be heard by the referring court. Referring court will set a hearing within 30 days, but the requesting party must obtain a setting from the court. One party asks for a de novo, any other party may ask for one within 3 days of the initial request. Nobody asks for a de novo, my order becomes an order of the referring court. Operation of.
And that's it. Remember, she didn't want us to see it. She didn't want us to see it, but we saw it. Now we're gonna do the last case of the night. This one is a little bit troublesome, I would say, so please take care of your mental health first. Trigger warning may be required as we go on, but let me get that going. It's so nice to see so many friendly faces tonight. I love all of you guys so much. Yeah, the judge's freeze frame face. Terrible. All right. Let's go. I clicked it. Okay, good. I clicked it. Woo.
It's Jaime.
Jaime, are you the mother of Jaime Granados, the child who is the subject of this suit?
Yes, sir, I am.
And who is Jaime's father?
It is Jaime Granados.
Okay. Is he a senior and a junior, or?
He's a junior.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure, because since they're both named Jaime, I want to make sure that when I'm referring to them that I refer to the correct one. And now here I'm talking about the child Jaime. Were you married to Jaime when the child Jaime was born?
Yes, sir, I was.
Are you still married to the senior Jaime Granados?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. But you are separated?
Yes, sir, we are.
When did you separate from Jaime Granados?
That was I can pull that up.
Why you got it all written down, girl?
That was August 27th, 2024.
And let's see, since you separated, has Mr. Granados visited with Jaime?
Yes, sir, he has.
Okay. And when I say visited, has he had him for overnight visitations?
No, sir, no overnight visitations.
Okay. So he's just been visiting him.
You don't need a wrench to share a link in here, but the Discord, for like Discord security, the links expire, so I might need to put a new link in. But !Discord might bring it up to start with, or the links. Yeah, that's the one, MB. So much smarter than me. Also, this is on 1.25 just till we catch up like y'all thought. Like I said, I was working today. I was working hard.
during the day for a few hours?
Yes, sir.
Into the future, what kind of visitation would you like for Mr. Granados to have with Jaime?
No visitations.
No visitations at all? And why would you want for Mr. Granados to have no visitations at all?
Because of his record, the police reports we've made on him, we filed against him.
Okay.
I feel like he's dangerous, he's a dangerous person.
Okay, so let's talk about the police reports. What charges have been filed against Mr. Granado?
Okay, I have them right here. There's one of, let me see. There's an assault, bodily injury, and there's another assault, bodily injury. There's a sexual assault on a child.
And who is the child who was sexually assaulted? Who was the victim in that one?
That was my younger sister.
Okay. And the assaults causing bodily injury, who was the victim in those cases?
Both of those were me.
Those were against you? Okay. And can you give me the date when those assaults occurred? First, let's go with the bodily injury assaults.
Okay, let me see.
That it is very jarring to hear, but we need to be mindful and wait a moment, I would just say, and listen, because dude needs a lawyer big time, MB, but also he seems a little surprised about some of these things. So her terminology might not be quite right in terms of what she thinks charged is versus she reported.
August 28th, 2024.
Okay.
And then November 26th, 2020.
2020, so about 4 years ago? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And how about the sexual assault?
June 17th, 2024.
Right. To the best of your knowledge, are those charges still pending against Mr. Granados?
The bodily injury and the sexual assault, yes, they're still pending. They're open cases.
Okay. The 2020 case, I guess that one's already been taken care of?
No, nothing has been done for any of this.
Oh, okay. So that one is still pending as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are those all charged in Hale County?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So it's fair to say you don't want Mr. Granados to have any visitation at all.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And as a result of these charges that we've been talking about, do you also want an order of non-disclosure? And what that would do is it would keep your address and your phone number out of the order so that Mr. Granados wouldn't have access to them through the order. Would you like that?
Yes, sir, I would.
Okay. And it's fair to say, based on what we've just been talking about, that you would like to make all the decisions for Jaime. That is, making medical decisions, deciding where he goes to school, things like that. Do you want to make those decisions?
Give me just a moment. I need to look at the law for a moment on this matter. I don't believe I can do a final order on this case if there is really a sexual assault case pending against Mr. Granados.
Okay.
Can I speak? I've been refraining from speaking at all.
Yes, sir, because it's not your turn.
Okay, just want to check.
Okay, stand by just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
So I was just about to go, oh, I'll be right back, but apparently not. So, oh yeah, we skipped ahead. We skipped ahead. We caught right up. And then we waited. How long did we have to wait for the judge? Whoa. That was way too much.
After the indictment?
No, we waited to hear. I like this judge. She fucking figures it out. She's not happy about it, but she's gonna figure this out. And I'll be right back. I need to get a cookie. Also, the Discord is very disorganized, I would say.
Counsel, I believe there's a section in the family code that prevents me from doing a final order in a case where an allegation of sexual abuse is pending. I cannot find it. If you're aware of where it is, I'm happy to listen. But that's my, without doing further legal research right now, that's my opinion. I think I could do a temporary order but I don't think I can do a final order.
I'm not aware of this section, but I would hate to do an order
Right.
if it's
So-
prohibited by the code.
So
So,
let's continue with the testimony with an eye toward doing a temporary order
Okay.
at this point.
okay.
If that is in fact the case, if this is pending. Ms. Alvarado, this sexual assault charge, it's been filed by and Mr. Granados has been indicted for it.
I'm not sure he's been indicted.
This is the first time hearing about it.
Okay, so he has not been indicted. You made a police report and nothing has happened with it?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. Mr. Bunachek, I don't know. I don't have enough information to make a ruling on this that I feel comfortable with.
Okay.
I don't know if this is an.
Oh, anywhere's fine, Diver Dan. We don't have very many rules in the Discord. You won't fuck it up. You won't fuck it up. It's a free for all. Which is sort of like my brain. It's how I work. But seriously, he's not even. This is the problem with it. He needs a lawyer, buddy. But he might not have even known that she was going to bring these allegations up. Because, especially in Texas, it's not quite as long as Georgia from arrest to indictment. But was he even arrested?
Allegation that the DA's office has dismissed and will not be pursued, or if it is something they're working on, I don't know. Mr. Granados doesn't seem to know anything about it.
I don't.
How old is your sister, Miss Alvarado?
He is 15.
Okay. And when was this police report made?
June 17th, 2024. I have the police report right here. I have copies of it.
Okay. Well, have you heard anything about it since June? That's 7 months ago.
No, ma'am, we haven't heard nothing about it.
Have you checked on it?
Yes, ma'am, we check on it.
And what are you told?
It's just pending.
Okay. I guess we can go forward with a temporary order. The other charge, the bodily injury charge, you were the victim of that back in August, is that right?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, and has that been filed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, he's been arrested for it, he's been charged with it.
He hasn't been arrested for it.
That's wrong.
Okay,
I was
just a
was
moment,
arrested.
Mr. Granados, I'll give you a chance, I promise, okay? But let's, okay, so he hasn't been arrested on it, that he was charged with it?
No, ma'am.
He's not been charged with it? What
Not that
happened? Tell me what happened.
Okay, well, the one on...
I'm talking about the bodily injuries. I don't care about the one from 2020 or 2020, because that was before this child was conceived. So you made this child with him after that. So I don't care about that one. I mean, I do care about it, but it's not as relevant as what has happened since then. So tell me what happened in August of 2024.
Okay, we had got into an argument that night, and it led to him punching me in the back of my head, and that's why I called the cops and filed this report.
Okay, so the cops came. Did they arrest him that night?
No, because he left. As soon as I called the cops, he left the house.
Okay. And has there been anything that's happened since then?
No, ma'am.
Had there been any prior family violence between the two of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When was that?
Well, there's this one that I have, the 2024, and then that one from 2020, and then I also have
Okay, so in
photos.
2020, you called the police before, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But that was before the child was born.
Yes, ma'am.
14 months, amazing legal fiction. It says new member, but it means 14 months. Thank you for the support. Also, her story isn't adding up. And some people have been asking, Mr. Bunashek has the pronunciation of his name in his Zoom title because nobody can pronounce his name, apparently. That's the vibes I've gotten.
Or even conceived.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that you guys separated, I guess, after this charge. That was when you separated. Is that right? The last one in 24?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. Since the birth of the child and between that time and August of 24, did family violence take place between you?
Yes, ma'am. I don't have a specific date. All I have are photos of
Well, why don't you just tell me about them? Okay. Tell me what happened and how many times.
Okay. There was a time that, again, we were arguing, and it then led him to punch me, on my arms, on my back, and then
And
that was
about when was that?
let me check. I may have the date on that one.
She got a lot of papers, though, and they're on the microphone. Mariah, is that how you say her name?
Okay.
Mariah? Nivar.
That
Or
was
Niver? Is it Niver? Bill?
January 12th, 2024.
Okay. And all right, was there another time?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, we've done this before. Do we want to watch Paisley get choked
October
around the neck?
1st, 2022.
It'll show up like a magic marker.
He scratched me in my face and kicked me in my stomach.
Okay. And when was the next time?
Let me find it. Sorry. October 23rd, 2023. He grabbed my wrist and he left his handprint in my arms.
Okay. And when was the next time?
February 16th, 2023. He pushed me to the ground and he had my baby in the bathtub giving him a bath, and I was trying to get in through the door. He threw me to the ground and he slammed the door on my feet and smashing my toes and leaving bruises on my legs. And there's just been so many incidents that I can't remember all the dates to all of them. But
Okay,
the ones
so
that
you would say there's a history or pattern of family violence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Mr. Benishek, do you have any more questions for her?
On the subject of family violence or continuing forward with the
Continuing forward.
Yes. Ms. Alvarado, what kind of health insurance does Jaime have?
He's on Medicaid.
Okay.
And
And
Medicaid, and I'm a Canadian.
Judge, I think we'll
like
reserve the
universal
issue
healthcare.
of retroactive, and I'll pass the witness.
All right. Mr. Granados, do you have any questions for Mr. Alvarado? This is not the time for you to testify. You'll get a chance to testify in just a moment. But do you have questions for her?
I'm not gonna talk to her.
Okay. Ms. Alvarado, you have anything you want to add or explain about your testimony?
No, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Benishek?
All right, I'm sorry, I call Jaime Granados.
Mr. Granados, if you would please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in the cause before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Benishek?
All right, Mr. Granados, you're the father of Jaime Granados. This is the junior, I guess, Jaime Ezequiel Granados. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you are presently still married to Maria Alvarado. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you have any other children below the age of 18 besides Jaime?
No.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I'm currently unemployed.
Okay. Before you were unemployed, what did you do for a living?
I was ginning I was a press operator at a gin, cotton gin.
Okay. So that was kind of seasonal work. How long did you do that?
From mid-December to January, the end of January.
Okay. When you were doing that job, what were you getting paid?
12 an hour, I believe.
Okay. How many hours a week did you work?
Is that what he said? I swear to God, that's what he said. Like, maybe
And
like
Mr. Benishek, since we're not doing retroactive, this is relevant.
72.
Showing his earning
Yeah.
capacity, Judge.
Well,
72.
he's a seasonal worker, so I don't know. I mean, that's seasonal work. I don't know.
Yeah. Mr. Granados, before that, where were you working? And was it something that was not seasonal?
Yes. Jibo's warehouse.
Okay.
I was a forklift driver there.
Forklift driver. And were you paid by the hour?
Yes.
How much were you paid an hour?
14.
14 an hour. Did you work 40 hours a week?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Judge, I'll pass the witness.
Okay.
I just want everyone to just sit with that pause from the judge for a moment. This is what disappointment looks like. Mr. Bunishek, she's looking at you. This is that moment when your mom or your teacher or whatever is asking you if you're sure that's the answer you want to give. Are you sure you're done? Judge is not happy.
You're not gonna ask him about visitation or anything like that? I mean, you're not gonna ask him any questions about all the, I mean, if you don't want to, that's fine. I can ask him. Mr. Granados, you heard Miss Alvarado's testimony. Have you been charged with a crime, sir?
No, ma'am. I have not
Okay.
been charged for any of that.
Okay, hey, you weren't charged for the assault that she called the police in August of 2024?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I didn't even
And
know about that. Whenever I left her, I left and that was it. I never heard from her, from the cops or nothing.
okay. Have you been contacted by the police to ask you questions about any of these matters?
No, ma'am, none of them. The first one in 2020, I think the one she said, that one, she was the one that called the cops, and then she was the one that got me out. Like I said, I mean, and she didn't press charges because nothing happened.
Okay, and you were never charged with anything?
No, ma'am. Never charged with
Okay.
anything.
Do you, and no one's ever contacted you about this sexual assault case?
No, ma'am.
Do you know anything
I
about
had
that?
nothing on it.
Okay. Has there been a history of family violence between you?
No, like all those instances that she's making up are made up. Like, for example, whenever she scratched herself, or my son, whenever those scratches, that was my son. The the door, she stubs her foot. Like she would bump into the corners of the couch and get bruises. And she's told me before, ask her if you want to, if she hasn't said, "Oh, these pictures, I've taken them, and I'll lock you up." Like I'm telling you, I haven't. And then what else? The when Oh, I did cheat. I did cheat, but we got back together, and
Oh, look at her face. I miss him too. I would have swore we had a command about Judge Webster. What would I have put it under? What was his little thing that he would say? He would say, weird. I'm almost positive we had one. I know we have a Manning command and a few other judges. But maybe it's just Streamlabs who's taking a little break. Oh, Streamlabs taking a little break, or no, apparently it just sounds like a me problem. Uh, damn it. Webster. Which one is it? Damn it.
that's the main reason. If I did it again, like that, she was gonna make sure she was gonna put me behind bars, and she was gonna use those pictures from where she's uh, what do you call it, ran into the couch or had bruises or for whatever reason, whether it be cooking or whatever, that she was going to use that against me to put me behind bars if I did it again or whatever. And I just had enough of being with her with that. And I mean, I haven't, I don't know, I just been
All right.
ever since.
Do you have a criminal record, sir? Do you have anything you've ever been convicted of?
Uh, just evading arrest on a motor vehicle
Okay. When
on a
was
four wheeler.
that? When did that happen?
I'm not too sure on the date, ma'am. But it was, I'd say, 2 years ago. So
Okay.
Going on 3 years.
Okay. And what happened with that? Did you go to jail?
I went to jail. I turned myself in. I went to jail, and that was that was it. That's the last I heard of anything of that.
You pled guilty and served your time, and that's over and
Yeah,
done with?
I mean, I got bonded out, but that was it. I mean, I've yet to hear anything from them.
Okay. Is that the only time you've ever been in jail?
Yeah, whenever she called the cops on me, and that was it.
In 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Those are the only 2 times you've ever been in jail?
You know, Wahoo, Mikey and I have talked about the like connection between people's jail, like court appearances, and then like getting the tip off to request a body cam, because they they talk about, or what they're charged with anyways. It's just a lot to put together, I'll say that. But it's crossed my mind. Sometimes I hear people talk about their case and I'm like, I want to see the body cam footage from that case. And again, MB's right. Can't believe that the lawyer, he's just looking off like, I was really hoping you would call this one off, Judge, so I wouldn't have to make an order at all. Oh, thanks, Erica. That's good to know.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Benishek, do you have any additional questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Granados, do you have anything you want to add to or explain about your testimony?
It's been okay. So whenever I left her, I didn't talk to her or nothing, and for the main reason that she she says it was her brother, but I don't know if it was her or her brother that bashed in all the windows to my truck. And whenever that happened, I just didn't have contact because that's what the police officer advised me. So that was that. And then once I filed a report and that was made, I was able to get a hold of her, and I was able to talk to her, and I was able to start seeing my son, and then here recently, whenever uh, I found out who she was dating, she cut that completely off, and it's been about to be, well, finishing up the second month that I haven't seen my son at all. And I mean,
Okay.
I've been sending her money through Cash App, and um, I mean, I just want to see him. That's my main
Okay.
thing. Like,
Let me ask you this. So from the time this child was born until August of last year, you lived in the house with the child. Is that right?
yes,
Okay. And you helped take care of the child?
yes. I mean, I was the provider. She hasn't worked since we've been together.
Okay. All right. Do you live on your own, or do you live
I'm
with your family?
currently staying with my parents.
Okay. And so if you had visitation with this child, would there be a place at your parents' house for the child to stay?
Yes,
Okay. Is that what you want to happen today? Is you want to have visitation with this child?
yes. I would love that.
Okay. All right. Would it be okay, just because there's some concern and I need to clear some of this stuff up, if I ordered that they supervise your visit?
I just want time with him alone. I want to be able to be with him.
Right. But you live with your parents. I mean, you would be over there anyway, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Um, anything, Ms. Alvarado, do you have any questions for Mr. Granados?
I have I would just like to say that I would not like him to see the child for another reason, that my son, he's been having speech problems, so he can't talk. So that's another reason why I've been cutting off the visitations, because I wouldn't know what goes on over there. He won't be able to communicate that to me, but he is taking
Okay.
speech classes and we are getting him through that.
All right.
And
Well, Mr. Granados lived in the house with you and with this child um, for 3 years. Isn't that right?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And was he ever inappropriate with the child?
Not that I know of.
Okay. And he continued to live in the house even after this sexual assault allegation was made by your sister or whoever made it. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But because
So
the
he's
police
been
didn't
with the
find-
child. And
Yeah, that's it. Don't hold water. It don't hold water to me. If she was, if this all was precipiced on that event when it was reported and then they broke up and then it goes from there, this would be a different story. But you're telling me that he stayed in the house? That y'all lived together after that? After you went to the police? But he wasn't arrested? I'm very confused. Also, she keeps looking off. Somebody's giving her direction, allegedly, in my opinion.
he lives with his parents. Do you know his parents?
Yes, ma'am, I know them.
Are you okay with them?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
I just feel like they'll take his side on anything. They just won't, they won't, I know they don't like me and I know they won't respect my wishes, and, I just wouldn't trust
What
them around.
wishes do you mean, ma'am?
Uh, I don't like them to drink around him. They have family violence over there too with his family, and I wouldn't want my son around that.
Okay, what family violence?
His parents, they fight with each other. Jaime
Argument.
actually fights with his siblings too, with his brothers, his sisters.
Argument.
You
No,
mean
I've seen
physically, or they
him
have arguments?
physically.
Okay,
I've seen him
give me an example.
he's fist fought his brother twice at our house and at his parents' house.
I'm sorry, you are going to have a hard time, I imagine, convincing a judge in Texas that two brothers fighting is cause to not let him see his child. I think she's lying too, allegedly. But, I mean, that doesn't even make any sense. That's not even a very good argument. If it was her brother, a different story. But she's not even talking about when this has happened. Again, and I just feel terrible for the child. Exactly, MB. It's always the child. Oh, she does look like she's sneering. It is always the child that fucking pays. Oh, yeah, it's not good. And he admitted that he cheated, and she's pissed about it. But I think he still needs a lawyer, but he's entitled to certain visitation in the state of Texas. And the state of Texas is better than some when it comes to that. Judges are very, but it sounds like almost like somebody researched the few scenarios where they don't really have to follow that. Anyways, that's all allegations in my opinion.
Okay. Does his brother live over there?
No, ma'am. I'm not sure where he lives.
And what's his name?
His name is Juan Granados.
Okay. But he doesn't live in the house.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I mean, here's the deal, Miss Alvarado. He's the father of this child, and he has a right to see his son. And I can order that his parents supervise. Right now, he lives over there, so they're likely going to be there. But you continued to live with him after a lot of these allegations were made. And so you must not have been too concerned about it then, especially a sexual assault situation. You must not have concern about that. I don't know. But none of these, according to him, and according to you, nothing's been filed against him. He doesn't have anything pending against him.
Well, with that sexual assault charge, the police did advise me to stay there at the house with him for safety matters. If I would have tried to move out, because the police here in where we live, they know.
I was never talked about any of this.
Hold on,
Okay.
both
They
of
wanted
you,
me to
hold
move out.
on. No fucking way. First of all, objection hearsay. Second of all, no. No. Do we need to get the body cam on that? You're gonna tell me you're gonna find the video of the police being like, can you just take one for the team here, ma'am? Hang out. That's not how that works.
For safety matters, if I would have tried to move out, because the police here in where we live, they know.
I was never talked about any of this.
Okay.
They wanted
I
me
don't
to
know.
keep it
I'm
from
not
you.
going to get too much into this, but whatever the case, this I don't I don't know what's going on, but I don't think it's going to cause a risk to let him be around his child when he's been around the child for 3 years. And so he has a right to see the child. He obviously wants to see the child. And he should be able to do that. So
Who's she looking at?
It's just my
Who's she
son has
looking
seen
at?
so much violence since I've been with him. And yes, I know I should have left a lot sooner, but it's just, I mean, I just see it would have put so much on my family. I mean, being a single mom and, finding babysitters, having to afford all these and then on top of it all,
Yeah, all those things, I would regularly exchange them for somebody to essay my sister. So tough. That's always what goes through my mind. Come on. Does she expect us to believe that? I mean, that's actually incredible. Absolutely in fucking credible. Defenestrated. Yeah.
I was very scared of Jaime, the father. I was living in so much fear, and he just controlled the whole relationship. I had no say. He controlled me. He controlled every
Okay. Well,
aspect.
do you have someone else that could supervise the visits?
I don't because of that sexual assault charge. None of my family wants to be near him. I don't want my child near him for that reason.
Well,
And
ma'am, you continued to live with him for months after that allegation was made.
yes, Mel, but only because the police did advise me to stay in the home so we wouldn't cause a bigger problem because they know his history of violence. They know that, so they wanted to keep me safe. They just wanted me to pretty much keep quiet and just wait till the law got involved with that, with the arresting and everything. But yes, the police did advise me to stay, just so the safety of me and my child would be secured.
Why
Because they
haven't I
know,
gotten? Why haven't the police got a hold of me? This is the first I'm hearing about anything.
Sir, this is not a Mr. Benishek, I don't know. I'm going to take this under advisement. I don't feel like I have enough information to rule on this case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure I have the ability to appoint an ad litem in Hale County. If it were Lubbock, I would appoint an ad litem and try to get some of this figured out. But I don't know. There's what the two of them are saying are completely different. I really don't want to put the child at any risk. I think what I'll do is go ahead and enter a temporary order for child support. And I will order I'm going to order supervised visitation at a public place. And if you don't have anybody to supervise, then I'll order it be his parents. But there's no other real solution to this. You've told me your family doesn't want to do it. And I don't know what else to do. Okay. I don't want to place the child at risk. You're making some pretty serious allegations. Hopefully you're not being dishonest with the court because that would be a crime.
That is very rare to hear a judge say that. We listen to court all the time. Let's look at her face.
Pretty serious allegations. Hopefully you're not being dishonest with the court because that would be a crime. I'm going to do a temporary order. We're going to set this out a few months, see how it goes. You need to bring some sort of information about the status of the sexual assault case. If it happened in June and it hasn't been indicted yet, I don't know. That seems like a long time for a case to be pending and not indicted. So if that's the situation, then I'm not sure that anything's going to happen with it, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay.
Yes.
So I guess what I'll do, where would you like the visits to take place?
Can they be at the park by our city hall? There's a park right by.
I don't like to do parks because the weather is uncertain.
Yes.
So I can do McDonald's. I can do his parents' house, which would probably be best, especially in the daytime if they're going to supervise.
Can we do McDonald's?
For how long are the visitations going to be?
Is there a reason that we can't do his parents' house during the daytime?
Well, just like I said, there is violence over there too in that household as well. Drinking and and
during the daytime?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Granados, is that the situation at your house?
No, occasionally drink on festivities, and that's about it. I mean, it's not an everyday thing over here.
Okay. Who all lives in the house?
Just my mom and dad and my three sisters and me.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna order visitation at his house. I won't do overnights, but I'm gonna order visitations over there during the day. So he'll be entitled to visit with the children on the first, third, and fifth Saturdays and Sundays. So the visits will be Saturday from 9 to 6, and then the following Sunday from 9 to 6. Those will be determined by the first, third, and fifth Saturdays. So you would count Saturdays, in other words, if it's and those would be your weekends. There won't be an overnight right now. We will make that determination at the time of the final order.
Wow, that's actually very good. He's living at home because they separated. They are married, by the way. So that's quite good visitation. That's Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 9 to 6 on the first, third, and fifth Saturdays or fifth weekends of the month. That is indeed the standard possession order. I think that continues until the child is school aged. When the child becomes school aged, then there's a summer visitation setup that goes into place in Texas, but with some expanded visitation. But this seems like a very good happy medium. It basically says to this girl, the judge doesn't really believe you at this point, in my opinion. And they're doing no overnights. I think that's a fairly good compromise. But again, she's erring on the side of caution here. But you need to come with receipts. Hi, Lizette. People need to show up with receipts. Like this girl. Her parents are off screen fucking pissed at her right now. You can tell.
But the visits will be supervised by Mr. Granado's mother. Will your mother be willing to do that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Will be supervised. Miss Alvarado, do you feel comfortable dropping the child off there?
Yes, ma'am, that's fine.
Okay. We'll drop the child off Saturdays at 9. Pick the child up Saturday at 6. Drop the child off again Sunday at 9. Pick the child up Sunday at 6 on those weekends, the weekends that start with Saturdays that are first, third, and fifth. There won't be many fifth Saturdays, but occasionally there are. So, and in that situation, if there is a fifth Saturday, he will have back-to-back weekends because the very next one will be the first Saturday. See how that works? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. I will set child support in accordance with the standard, the minimum wage presumption. Since Mr. Granados is not working right now, you said you don't have any other children. Is that correct, Mr. Granados?
No, I do not.
Okay. So child support will be set in the amount of $221 a month. I'll set cash medical support for the cost of
NPC coming through with memberships again. So sweet. Early Valentine's gifts to all of us. That's the gift that keeps on giving, as Mikey says. So sweet. Thank you so much. And welcome new members. I love it, love it, love it. Mr. Bunashek, I don't think he did a very good job on this one. You can see how... So... When we started tonight's episode, I said trigger warning. I thought we were watching this one first. This one is quite triggering. But I think the judge split the baby in the bathwater really well in this case. That's what I'll say.
The Medicaid to help defray the cost of Medicaid at $50 a month. All the payments will begin on March the 1st. I will set a final hearing in June, Mr. Bunashek.
Okay, let me-
You have till June to find a lawyer, Jaime. You're gonna want to get on it. in June. And look, he pulls out a freaking calendar. It's so cute. NPC, oh, happy Valentine's Day to you. That is so sweet. Look, he pulled out a calendar and it's like he's
Is it
showing it
ordinarily the
off.
second Thursday, Judge?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so that should be the 12th.
June 12th
Yeah.
at 1:30. I'm sorry, let's do 11. Or actually, we're doing 10:30 now, aren't we? 10:30.
10:30
So June the
on
12th
June
at 10:30 a.m. And you should get additional notice of this. I will make the non-disclosure finding in this case. Do you all have each other's do y'all communicate?
Yeah.
I've tried,
Yes.
but she doesn't cooperate with me. Like she'll respond
Okay.
to my texts and
All right,
and
so I will order you to communicate through a co-parenting application on your phone called APP Close, CLOSE, App Close. You look it up, you put in your information, and you should be able to connect with each other on there. It creates a record for the court of your communications. Miss Alvarado, you'll need to sign up for that and communicate with him that the visitation will begin on the next weekend. Let's see.
Bill, for once, that wasn't my daughter calling. That was just me
Is
trying
that
to set an alarm for
the
June
9th?
12th.
Actually, today is the 13th, so the 9th, I'm not sure, but today's the 13th, so I think, just a second.
So cute. She looks miserable, by the way.
So it will be this Saturday. The 15th is the third Saturday. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you must have the child over at his parents' house at 9 a.m. on Saturday. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. And we will see you again on June the 12th at 10:30.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Y'all are free to go.
thank you so
June
much.
12th.
Thank you.
He does seem happy about that. I think that worked out as good as can possibly be. Yeah, she would be way more distraught, Mike. I have to agree. It doesn't have the ring of truth to it. And I think that the judge figured that out. Again, Texas is very, 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 very clear. Although she did not make a ruling, that was a temporary order, but so she has not made a ruling yet on conservatorship for this child. I anticipate that's going to be a difficult decision based upon the evidence that the mother may bring or not bring. MB, you're so sweet. You guys are amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. What lovely pre-Valentine's Day vibes we all had together. What I mean by that, in terms of conservatorship, is in Texas, there's a presumption of joint managing conservator, JMC, which means that parents share in the decision-making power for children in terms of medical and schooling, religion. In Texas, how it works is that the custodial parent tends to retain the default, like, veto vote, basically. And but they still have to confer with each other, and there's still a process to go through the courts if they disagree. In a sole managing conservatorship, you need to overcome the presumption that it is better for them to have joint managing conservatorship. Like I said, in Texas, that is the presumption, that they will be joint managing conservators, they will co-parent, and you have to prove that that's not going to work. there are a few different ways of proving that. She's alleged both of them in this case, and it, again, doesn't strike the ring, you know, I hate to call people liars, but I don't get the vibes. Anyways, so you see also what I said about the first case versus this case? Despite more, in my opinion, more evidence that the dad in that case was maybe not with it or whatever, she was much more open to co-parenting. It is probably one of the most detrimental things you can do when you get in front of a judge, especially in the state of Texas, is to not be willing to co-parent with the other parent. It is a very bad position to take. It puts you in a corner that is hard to get out of and doesn't allow for a lot of flexibility. You'll find you catch a lot more flies with sugar than you do with salt, in a way. And again, it's just a bad position to put yourself in. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. Come back. We won't be back tomorrow. Like I said, I'm covering somebody's shift so that they can get some tomorrow night. But we'll be back. We'll be back on Saturday and Sunday, probably twice on Sunday. So do me a favor. Remember that I love you and I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Okay. Bye. Bye.
Ways down and ready.